The Blue Mountains, New South Wales' great dividing range. At once beautiful and rugged, it has been viewed as both a wonder and an obstacle, forming a natural wall for a fledgling prison colony. By early 1813, however, the settlers suffered under the grip of drought. New grazing lands had to be found, or prospects looked grim.
On Tuesday, May the 11th, 1813, Mr. Gregory Blaxland, Mr. William Wentworth, and Lieutenant Lawson left the farm at South Creek for the purpose of endeavouring to effect a passage over the Blue Mountains.
The three explorers of 1813 are best categorised, I think, as upper-class people. They're people with resources and enterprise.
Gregory Blaxland and his brother John were wealthy landed gentry in Kent.
He has some fairly large acreages of land. He wants to have an expedition and he asks a couple of friends to go with him.
William Lawson was essentially an explorer. He was also trained as a surveyor and also in the army.
William Charles Wentworth is much younger. He's only about 21 or 22.
He would have been suffering the same drought that Gregory Blaxland was suffering. Decided to tag along for adventure. It was Blaxland's idea. Lawson was the technical person and Wentworth just went along for the ride.
Their bold endeavour became a bid for the colony's very survival.
A country of so singular a description could, in my opinion, only have been produced by some mighty convulsion in nature.
The expedition took 21 days. They actually started from south of Penrith on the 11th of May and they reached Mount Blaxland on the 31st of May. One of the difficulties is that it's very harsh and rugged terrain. Everyone else has tried to follow a river and the river ends in a sheer cliff with a waterfall. Blaxland says, no, we'll go about it another way. We'll see if we can follow a main ridge.
They were very lucky because they found just about the only ridge that takes you right through the mountains.
They essentially crossed the mountains 3 times. It was 2 steps forward and 1 step back. They'd cut a trail out, come back, get the camp, move the camp up. So they'd walk it 3 times in that day, those areas they did do.
It is pretty tough going. They're not necessarily having great fun, but they are having a sense of adventure.
At Springwood, they got lost. They spent 5 days there, but there was an Aboriginal tribe at Springwood, the Orang, and somebody took them across the narrow ridge to get them on their way, and from there on in, they succeeded.
At the end of the 21 days, they're pretty much out of food. Everything is starting to wear out, including themselves. So essentially they've had enough and they turn for home.
Our shoes worn out and provisions nearly expended obliged us to return home. This country will, I have no doubt, be a great acquisition to this colony.
Of course, the explorers report to Governor Macquarie that they believe that they've succeeded in crossing the Blue Mountains.
There may have been other people who went into the Blue Mountains prior to that, but the 3 explorers, they were all respected gentlemen, so their report was taken seriously.
And if the explorers hadn't found a way across, the colony would have been abandoned, and it provided the opportunity to expand and grow.
To learn more about the Bicentenary, visit the Blue Mountains Crossings website.